What good can come out of this Singapore conversation? Will my contribution be heard and considered? Responding to critics and cynics, Education Minister Heng Swee Keat, who chairs the committee spearheading the Singapore conversation, addresses their concerns.
I think many of you really do not know what to expect. This is a citizens' dialogue. Is it going to be real? Is it a wayang? Or is this? Are we going to come to you? We say, okay, these are the things that you must know, and therefore that's that. Some of you may come in the morning, maybe even a little cynical. That really, what is this about? But I do thank you for at least the confidence to step in and to join us. To me, I hope I sense a very strong degree of engagement. People are very engaged in thinking about Singapore and thinking about our country, our people, our future.
During the 4-hour dialogue session, the key issues raised by 60 participants at the first Singapore Conversation Citizen Dialogue on Saturday were the Singaporean identity, depressed wages, aging population, misconception about the sentiment locals have towards foreigners, and rising cost of living. To ensure that participants could air their viewpoints freely, the Chatham House rules were implemented. This prevents the identity and affiliation of the participants to be revealed without permission. Ranging from 19 to 69 years old, participants were split into groups of 10. The first 2 hours were set aside for them to share their thoughts on policies and values in Singapore which they hope to keep or change. They were then tasked to come up with newspaper headlines in 2022 on the Singapore they hope to see in future. Interesting aspirations for the country included revamping the criteria for President's scholars, that he or she must be one with a heart for Singaporeans rather than one with stellar academic results, to Singapore being the happiest city in the world, and having our kampong spirit as the national icon instead of a fancy building or structure. Some even hoped that Singaporeans will no longer be categorized by ethnicity. Instead, we should fall under the big category of being Singaporean.
It's a positive experience. It's a good start to getting people like us who are unknown, Singapore citizens, to at least have a voice in the entire decision-making of our future.
I think today is interesting because it's open-ended, which is quite un-Singaporean in a certain structure type. So I enjoyed thoroughly with my team, especially the group, because the group has a more broader perspective and we are more moderated in a certain sense because we don't really have extreme views.
To be really honest, I came here a little bit of a cynic. I wasn't really sure how a citizen dialogue would have been communicated across. But surprisingly, I found myself really enlightened by the dialogue. Good points and bad points are being shared across. People let their guard down. It was an unstructured debate, but at the same time, it helped to facilitate a lot of these ideas and make them into concrete solutions. So I think it's a great start.
There were so many people who cared about what was the fate or the future of the aging population in Singapore, and I guess it makes a difference to hear it from people who are like 60, who are in their 60s already, and they know that they're going to enter into that age.
I hope at least the Singaporeans who heard from my perspective actually saw a different, or maybe not so rosy side of the picture, And even if they disagree with me, which I'm sure some of them did, I hope that at least the idea of what I was saying was introduced into their heads. For example, like minimum wage, a lot of Singaporeans don't think about it because, they're earning quite okay. Like, they're not on the lower end of the scale. A lot of people might say that you're talking about minimum wage, it only affects a small part of the population, but how we treat this small part of the population, right, will actually affect how Singapore goes on moving forward.
Watch the following clips for more on the issues raised during the first Singapore Conversation Citizen Dialogue.